Welcome to the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos. Now, I must say, in the NBA, there's blood in the water on the shores of Lake Erie, right outside Quicken Loans Arena. Now, this has got to be coming from the Cavs, of course. Last night, Kings beat the Cavs in OT. That was with no Rudy Gay, who's out for the season with the torn Achilles. And last time I checked, Mike Bibby, Chris Webber, Peja Stojakovic, Vlade Divac, they are no longer on that team. So tell me, please tell me, why you guys are losing to the Sacramento Kings, Cleveland. Now, the Cavs are 6-6 in January. That's 500. That's their record for this month. That's not very good. They've lost 3 straight. They lost to the Pelicans last game with no Anthony Davis. He's an all-star. And now you lose to Sacramento. I look at this team, and I say to myself, front office, make a move. Make your move. Do something, because if you don't, there's no way you compete with Golden State or Houston or whoever comes out of the West. There's no way you do it. I mean, reportedly the biggest story that's been out there, the Knicks actually offered Carmelo Anthony to the Cavs in a trade for Kevin Love. The Cavs said, nah, we good. But I look at the entire framework of this operation and what you guys have in place there in Cleveland. You should have never gotten rid of Matthew Dellavedova. Everybody knows that. I know Zoe knows. Everybody knows Zoe knows, but everybody else does know you should have never gotten rid of Matthew Dellavedova. Should have paid the man. That's what you get trying to get the discount on the free agent market. That's what you get, Cleveland. Now, this is a classic loss to value when it comes to Melo. You look at Melo, he's like an old Dodge Charger that uses premium gas. The engine's too big. It's a V8 engine, 140,000 miles. This car, yeah, it's a luxury vehicle. It looks nice, and it's a sporty thing, trendy. He'll score, give you buckets. He'll get to the paint and fade away. He's not gonna go down in there. But I mean, this guy, he's used goods. I look at Melo's career. Obviously, the Cavs would get worse on defense if they trade Kevin Love, simply because Melo doesn't play defense. He hasn't played any all season. He's having one of the worst defensive years in his career. So why give up a Kevin Love who's an offensive threat more so right now than Melo is? Because every time I cut on ESPN and I watch highlights, this guy's got threes rimming in and out. So I look at this whole trade idea, and maybe Melo's not the guy, but you have to find a piece from somewhere, Cleveland management. Now, Love, I look at him, he's 4 years younger than Melo. 28, Melo 32, but Love's had a lot of injuries, back trouble. He's always got issues with a leg or an ankle or a shoulder. I mean, this guy has been beat up ever since he's left Minnesota. I don't know if if there's something in the water in Cleveland, as I alluded to, or he's just struggling, can't stay healthy. So I do look at moving Kevin Love potentially. Yes, he's an offensive producer. However, I don't know that I trade him for Melo if I do trade him. But not to say he's not a good piece. He just can't stay healthy. I look at the long-term effect that it would mean for my team to keep someone like a Kevin Love, especially when someone's already asked for him and I can get something of value back. And he hasn't fit from the jump. We all know that. But Cleveland, they need to check the cabinet and empty their pockets, plain and simple. We'll see what they do. Free agency's coming up. Now, speaking of free agency, I wonder if there's one that will be coming out of Chicago. The Bulls, they've been bums as well. Don't feel sorry. You're not alone, Cleveland. Chicago, they haven't been great. D-Wade and Jimmy Butler, they came out complaining that the team doesn't care enough about winning. Now, D-Wade's cry for help before trade deadline, it's a little fishy if you ask me. Now, isn't it ironic that LeBron's not happy? Isn't it ironic that D-Wade's not happy? Now, it seems like they're trying to set up some type of blind date. Maybe, just maybe, D-Wade's got to say things about his team around this time, around before All-Star break. LeBron's got to say things around his team before All-Star break. Then when they get there, they get to meet up and have their secret conversations in February. Now, wouldn't it be ironic if D-Wade lands in Cleveland? I mean, they would be technically going for a 4-piece. I mean, they would both each win their 4th ring, both have 3. So how do we know that when they were on that banana boat, they didn't have a conversation this past summer about what they were going to do as far as free agency went if things didn't go right in their respective situations? And isn't it funny that Carmelo, he was left off that banana boat. He said, nah, I'm good. Carmelo, maybe you should jump on a banana boat and try to win a championship, sir. Now, this entire situation for D Wade, it's been a nostalgia tour for him to just be back home and be hooping in front of the home crowd and the home fans and his family members. But obviously it's gotten stale. So he needs something new. So this blind date that they're trying to set up, maybe they'll get it done. They'll have to meet somewhere discreet though at All-Star break. Please don't make it a Panera Bread or Mickey D's. Make sure it's somewhere low profile where you guys can hash it out over a glass of wine, some whether it's Moscato or some Chardonnay, something nice, nothing expensive. Just keep it chill, cause you all are trying to get the big paydays down the road, winning the rest of these championships. So we will see what the Bulls do, what D Wade does, but maybe this is all a ploy by him. Maybe him and LeBron are in cahoots. Hey man, around late January, we got to talk really bad about our organization so that we can get stuff moved around in our best interest. Cause I want to get back with you, brother. We shall see. Now, if we move over to NCAA basketball, college basketball slouch time is typically around this point in the season, late January. They call these the dog days in the NBA. Well, they're the dog days in college basketball too, because that early season momentum, it fades. We know contenders from pretenders. We know who's here to stay and who's here to play. Now, Kentucky and Kansas, they were caught sleeping Tuesday night. Kansas goes into Morgantown, loses to West Virginia again. Shout out to Bobby Huggins. He wins 25 racks every time he beats Kansas, and he's 4-0 at home. So that's 100 bands that he's gotten off Kansas already, plus the 25 that he got the other night. And also Kentucky, they go into Tennessee, Voltown, and they lose in Knoxville. Now, doesn't this make Saturday a little bit less sexy? In my opinion, it does, simply because we expected both of these teams to have decent winning streaks when they came into this game, not both coming off of a loss and reeling at the moment. We did not expect this, so I think it takes away a little bit of the lure that was going on with that game, because I think Kansas had won 16 or 17 or 18 straight, something like that, because they hadn't lost since Indiana. So, I mean, this is going to be a great game with De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk and the Josh Jacksons, Frank Mason. This will be a good game. However, I think the two losses this week takes a little bit away. Villanova, they need to lose that hangover. Now, I'm pretty sure they lost to Marquette the other night. Let Marquette come all the way back. I'm pretty sure I was right when I did say that they're still drunk from that championship hangover. Now, even Jay Wright confirmed that for me by coming out saying that they are still feeling the effects from winning the national championship last year. Yes, it was amazing. Yes, it was phenomenal. Yes, it was one for the ages. But guys, you got to keep hooping. You cannot sit here and still be happy about something that happened 2016, last year. Don't live in the past. Let's be about the present, Villanova. Chris Jenkins, do you have another big shot in you? Do you have one more? Do you have one more for Coach Wright? Can you lead your team? Can you get Villanova out of this rut? Because they don't look like the Villanova that we've seen. And that lack of size on the inside, and they lost to Sheffield from last year, that's really starting to become more transparent. So who knows what will happen down the stretch of Villanova. Now, road losses by the big dogs in the neighborhood, that happened all on Wednesday. FSU loses by 22 to Georgia Tech. They're supposed to be the doormat of the ACC this year. Creighton loses by 20 to Georgetown. Now, everybody knows they lost Maurice Watson Jr. His loss and him getting injured, it kills this team. He was the nation's leader in assists per game. He was somebody who really helped that offense go. That's why they were scoring 100 a game. Now they've been reduced to just 51 against Georgetown. So we see what type of impact a big-time player for a small school has on their season. So just sorry for Creighton. I mean, they're a good team, but I don't think that they're a Final Four team anymore. Everybody knows that. It's been obvious. It's sad. It's sad, but it's the nature of sports. People get hurt. You got to fill in. UCLA, they take 2 L's back to back. Now, they took the L to Arizona last weekend. Oh, and I must say, I saw that game, phenomenal. Lonzo Ball, phenomenal. The other kid, Simmons, I want to say, from Arizona, and Markkanen and Trier came back. That was just a phenomenal game. Athletes up and down the floor. I liked watching it. But they lost to Arizona and USC the past 2 games. Now, I think part of this could be Thomas Welsh. He's not producing offense like he should. He's a good defensive player, but I think he's maybe deferring a little bit to TJ Leaf, the young guy who's another big guy, and he's doing a lot more offensively. So I think Thomas Welsh has become a little bit, I want to say, a little bit standoffish just because of the fact that he knows TJ Leaf has a full skill set. Don't be intimidated by him, Thomas Wells. You got to play your game, but you have to produce, sir, and not just on the defensive end. It's hurting UCLA. Now, also, I think they're too dependent on Lonzo Ball, Bryce Alford, as well as Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's younger brother. I don't know his first name, but Holiday, the younger Holiday at UCLA. Can't be so guard heavy. Get the ball down to TJ Leaf, get it to Thomas Welsh, work him into the offense, get him comfortable because you will need Thomas Welsh in the NCAA tournament. Mark my words, UCLA. Now, Louisville, they kicked Pittsburgh out of the club on Tuesday night, 106-51. Sheesh. Now, the interesting story with Louisville, they've got other issues still in the air with the escort scandal, and Rick Pitino coming out still saying he had no knowledge of what was going on with Andre McGee. This continues to hang over this program here in the city in Louisville, the escort scandal. Katina, whatever her name is, I won't even give her that much credit, but I will say that they've got to figure out something with this case because this is just going to continue to hurt the program. You wonder, will it affect recruiting at some point? But yeah, this team, they're a good team. But have we heard the last of this scandal stuff? I'm not sure. But I'm sure Coach Pitino can answer some questions. This isn't his first sticky situation, I must say. Now, NCAA women's, Gabby Williams from UConn, fifth straight triple-double in well, not fifth straight. I get used to saying straight because we always talk about Westbrook and what he does with these triple-doubles. But Gabby Williams, she's got her fifth triple-double in program history. So congrats to her for UConn. UConn, they just keep winning. 94 straight wins. Geno, he still got it. Still got the juice. Still bringing in the top-notch recruits. And every year they seem to reload and win every single year. He's the Coach Cal of women's basketball. Excuse me. Coach Cal is the Geno Auriemma of college basketball. We should say that. He's the because Geno's done something that nobody's done on that level. So I must say it's a pleasure to watch dominance like that, but it gets a little boring at times because you want to see a little variation. I mean, when we had Brittany Griner in college, she was somebody who could compete with UConn and Odyssey Sims. Those teams with Kim Mulkey, they were good. So we got to get some more of those Baylor-like teams. Hopefully we'll see something because I don't see UConn stopping anytime soon. Now, next show, check out the SEC Big 12 Challenge this weekend. I'm definitely going to touch on that a little bit. That's in college basketball. And also more Super Bowl talk next week. I'll get to that. Just hang on. But until then, make sure you just stay up with sports and keep watching Zono Sports, where you know Zoe knows.